title this one Confessions from a Biracial Man. Okay, so I game, meaning I play video games. So being a gamer girl, I watch gaming channels. I happened to come across this specific gaming channel, and it was because I was getting tips on a game that I was trying to finish. I used to be one of those people who would play a game, and I'm still one of those people who have to finish the game. I haven't finished all my games, but for the most part, I usually try and finish them where there's nothing else that you need to do. So I would take and write everything down with a pen and paper, and then I would take what I wrote down on the paper, I would fold the paper up, and it would be stored in like the case or something, or I would put my little pad up. But since there's a lot of speedrunners and people on YouTube, I decided to see if someone had come up with something for me, and the game was Resident Evil 2. So I'd been watching him for a year, and I recently clicked in a video after not watching him for a bit. This video was done last year at the end of the year, and it was Resident Evil 8. Yes. So I just thought I'd click in because once people play the game and you beat the game, there's people who will do speed runs with just knives, with just handgun, and play on like the hardest mode on the game with the starter weapons that you get, which is insane. And sometimes it's funny to watch because they get pissed off and they say funny stuff. So I just happened to click on this video. Now, before, in other videos that I'd watch, he made remarks about his son. He always talked about his son and the legal battles with his ex-wife, and his ex-wife is white. He also said in one of his videos or streams that, he likes vanilla. So basically, it was all out there, right? Me being a black woman, and I am a fully black woman with 2 black parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. I have been in white spaces, so I'm used to spaces like this one. And yeah, there are black guys there in these spaces, but it's a certain type of guy. Now, you can tell by the comments and jokes within his live streams who primarily watches and supports the channel. Remember, he is talking to people who are supporting his channel. So if you want that support, you're gonna have to tailor a lot of things to the people who are watching you. So I watched him play a little bit of the game. In the middle of the game, he stops the game and he starts talking about different stuff. Then he gets to the part where he starts talking about where he almost lost his channel. This channel is his livelihood. So he said he was talking about an actress that is named Ellen Page. Now is Elliot Page, so this person is trans. So he was saying he had a crush on Ellen Page, on her, and in the movie Juno, as a girl, Elliot Page was Ellen Page in the video game Beyond Two Souls. It says Ellen Page on that video game. He kept calling the now Elliot Page her, and the LGBTXYZ crew was mad because he was using female pronouns when he was talking about when he was young and had a crush on her, and started dragging him. Primarily, his audience is palm colored. They flagged him for hate speech over the pronouns. YouTube was agreeing with them. This is new to me. You can have NIGG hard ER videos up, but you cannot say he is her and her is he and get that mixed up. Because if their feelings are hurt or they're offended, even if you're saying something that isn't hate speech, because hate speech is you wanting someone to be harmed, or you are expressing your want to harm someone because of a certain thing. But if you're just reading someone, they want to be able to hide behind that. They want to be a protected class. This all came about because he was flagged for hate speech. He didn't say anything like he doesn't like LGBT, he doesn't like Elliot Page, he doesn't like it wasn't anything like that. It was just he was remembering basically when Elliot was Ellen and he had a crush on her. Period. Yes, it does sound stupid, because it is stupid. Now, to put things in context, he did say that at the beginning of it, that he wishes he was either fully white or fully black, because being in the middle was not so fun for him. Being in the middle was, yeah, it was torture for him, basically. He said, as a child, being very young, that he used to pray that he would wake up either fully white or fully black, and it never happened. At one point in this rant or conversation that he was having, this is what he said. His skin color, his phenotype, he is light brown and he has prominent Negro features, and he gets them from his father because he said his father is black. He said his mindset when he was young is God is cruel if he would give him the features in the skin that he had, and he wouldn't cure him of what he had. That is very telling. And I know initially when I was hearing the way he was explaining it, it was pissing me off because, like I said, being a fully black woman, a black person, I love my hair. I have done the big chop twice. Natural hair. I like my fluffy, woolly 4Z hair. Getting to that point where I like my skin, I like my features, I like my hair, I like my blackness, to hear this, it put me in a bad energy. I understand that biracial people have a different experience and they get it from both sides. They're pulled in and out of whiteness, and well, they're not pulled into whiteness. They're pulled in and out of blackness. Like, they'll say, oh, that's your white side. Or you'll have people arguing with them saying, no, you're black. And that is due. And there needs to be consideration given. That's due because we have been told even a speck of black blood gets on you, you're black. You're tainted. He tried to unalive himself at the age of 13 over this. He said his white mother and he and his brother endured abuse from his black father. He said that he was beaten with a belt, and we're not talking about a discipline. Even if you use the belt, it wasn't that type of discipline. It was actual physical abuse. It was assault. You do not hit children. Even if you're okay using a belt, you don't hit kids with belt buckles. Wanting to leave marks on them. I did a video on corporal punishment. I do not believe in corporal punishment. I believe it's abuse. You have no business beating the hell out of your kids because they won't listen to you. They're children. You have to instill into them, and you have to give them actual true consequences for their actions. And corporal punishment is not a consequence. It's abuse. So he went through that. His mother went through that. His brother went through that. And I believe it 100% because all you have to do is look at the Black femicide rates and the stories of abuse from Black women in the community. So I have no issue with that person. I have seen multiple times where Black men I know have beat the shit out of the white women that they were with. We saw it with the football player where he threw her up into the TV. This is not something that's unbelievable. We've seen it firsthand. So after that situation, basically he said that his father abandoned them, left them with nothing. And then what she did was she ended up marrying a white man. And I'm not faulting her for doing that, but this shows me there is little to no consideration for biracial children. They might not want to talk about the white side of their family, may not want to blame their white parent, but I will, because they're culpable for their mindset as well. So this white man adopted him, and his brother gave them his last name. So basically he said that his bio dad would beat him horribly, and there were young Black males who beat him up and tried to kill him and his brother because they wanted smart kids to join the gang. I do know that there's gang members that try to recruit people into the gangs, young kids into gangs. I know that happens. Children who are abandoned, which that's what his father did, abandon them. As he was telling this story, I noticed some people in the chat, in the gaming chat, they were leaving. Some of them were saying that they were tired, right? They weren't tired. They knew, being a part of the stream, that they were going to be up. So it wasn't that they were tired. They just didn't want to hear about what he was saying, because there's another side to everything that he said. Now, he said the white kids feared him because he was part Black and thought he was a gang member. The Black kids, I guess, picked on him because they knew he wasn't fully Black. Okay, these are children. It's the whole thing, like when African people come over here and they said they were called names. Children do this back and forth, regardless of color, regardless of culture, regardless of anything. Kids are cruel. And it depends on their upbringing. The whole thing with the white kids feared him because they were in gangs. What? There's no white kids in gangs. There's no white gangs. They just assume, oh, you have a tinge to your skin or you're brown. Oh, you're in a gang. Really? And it's like, you don't look at them side eye and wonder what the hell is wrong with them. The white kids would call him the N-word, hard ER. And he said, you can call me that all day. It doesn't matter. Other people around me will defend me. Really? Okay. And that in itself, that statement came across to me as really lightballing it for white people who do this, because when they used to say that word, people got killed. So it's not a whatever, it's just a word type thing. That kind of sentiment comes across and shows that, he was raised in a white household, because that's what they say. Oh, it's just words, ignore it and it'll go away. Or, people who have never experienced hardship or haven't experienced the Black experience. How could they ever raise him to be able to deal and cope with everything that he's going to face? Because they would literally have to look in the mirror. His white mother and white adoptive father. And this is where I started to have an issue. Now, he said, after a while, what if there was technology that could turn you into any race? And basically he said he's trying to understand the people who want to transition from male to female, female to male. And he also said on his all his legal documents, he is considered Caucasian because of, I guess, how they did the documentation when his father adopted him. So now he has Caucasian on everything, his driver's license, everything. So if he's pulled over by the cops, it says Caucasian. They're looking at the license, they're looking at him and wondering what's going on. And he said he got tired of writing mixed or biracial on everything. So now legally on paper, he's considered white. Yay, a victory for him. Now, when he says African American, when he says that word, he sounds uncomfortable saying the word. He then said he would choose to be white. The next thing that came is what let me know that, wow, it's a space that I can't be in. I am not trying to ignore the truth behind all of this, the other side of this, but just like I said, being a fully black person, this is kind of what set me off. Now, he feels the brown color of his skin, his phenotype, and his kinky, coily hair that he has. He said this: it's a detriment to his career. It's a detriment to his livelihood. Blackness is a detriment to your career, a detriment to your livelihood, detriment to your quality of life. Whiteness is what he would love to be. Even after he